Oh my goodness. It's been a long time since we had interviews, but we have somebody in the waiting room. Or should I say other people? Should I say 4 people? What's up, everybody? What is up?
Damn, I think I'm hella tan.
I know, just from golfing and caddying and all the shit that we're doing. What is up, everybody? From wherever you're watching or listening, we welcome you into the All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ. And the man in white today, Manny Ruffin. If you are watching on YouTube, do us a big favor, drop a like, comment, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, help our audio platforms and drop those ratings below. Today, finally, big show today. We have guests on the show. Notice how there's an S there, plural. We do have some guests on the show. This is the Caps Off podcast presented by The Game Day. Felipe, Adam, Jack, and Matan. Yes, they've been, taking over TikTok with their clips and their takes and everything in between. They went to the NFL draft. They did shows at Radio Row at the Super Bowl. So this is going to be a fun conversation, just learning how they have, taken their journey in this industry of podcasting, and today was actually their 100th episode. So
there you go.
Let's get these guys in here if we want to work today. Did that work? Did you see that?
We admitted. Don't. There we go.
Okay.
Whoa. Let's clap it up for the
my God. There everybody is.
Go.
What the fuck?
What's going on, boys?
What up?
It was good.
You hear us all right?
Yeah, we can hear you guys.
Perfect. Where you guys at right now? The studio looks fire. Is this you guys' studio? Where you guys at right now?
We're in the studio in the New York City office here in the East Village.
Damn, I see y'all. It's first of all, thank y'all for your time hopping on our show. We know y'all don't have to do this. Super cool to talk to y'all to figure out how you guys are taking over the game right now and like the journey to get there. Just one thing though, I gotta point out to my man Felipe. The Cowboys not sweeping the Eagles this year, man. What's going on with that, bro? That's not happening, bro.
You're gonna like.
You're gonna like what we got this week, bro.
We got a good one coming, bro. Are you an Eagles fan?
Yeah, I saw the video y'all dropped today. I saw the thumbnail.
You gonna hate him.
Oh
hey, first of all, happy 100th episode, by the way. I saw that today.
Boys.
This is our 98, so we're right with you guys. We're at 98.
Wow.
I know, isn't that crazy? Is that crazy?
You're gonna like what's coming up. By the way, we're heard through this mic, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's electric.
That was for everybody?
That's good. No, you fucking
No.
Oh, I thought they weren't heard through this.
No,
mic.
but like I'm so used to screaming at the Zoom. What I was saying is that a lot of people were commenting to have Felipe predict the Eagles' schedule, so that's coming. He definitely said they're going 17-0. So you're gonna
Tough schedule.
It's a tough schedule, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Is.
Is it right that the Eagles have the hardest schedule?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
100% correct. But I mean, if you're head and shoulders the best team in the NFC, like what else? We're still gonna be all right. It's all good in the hood, I promise.
That's a weird way to talk about the 49ers, my guy.
Oh my God,
I got a
we
bone
can't
to pick
beef
with
yet.
you.
We can't beef
The
yet.
ceiling is 17-0.
I could play quarterback. We go 14-3, bro.
It might be true.
Wait, so you're an Eagles?
Yes.
Are you both Eagles fans?
No, I'm a Giants fan,
Nah,
so
he's a
I'm with
weird
you,
guy,
Matan.
weird
Let's
guy.
go. Danny Dimes, baby.
go.
Weird
guy.
Come on.
Weird
And I
guys.
don't want to hear any more
We're
shit from
huge.
Jack after the 17-0 ceiling bullshit on the TikTok. That was so biased,
I
and no
said-
one's going to say it.
I was more realistic. I was more modest. I went 16-1. It's fine.
And
you
they
know,
only
like
lost to
that's-
the
I'll
Eagles,
give
so
us a
that's
loss
just not
to the Eagles.
happening.
That loss is gonna happen though.
And I got a bone to pick with you too, Jack, because I saw you were at your Twitter bio's Bay Area. You were at Yankee Stadium for opening day. And 49ers fan wearing a Giants jersey at opening day, but then in some of these clips you're wearing a Rangers jersey. Get my team off your back,
bro,
boy. What are we doing?
I always say this. Jack is the best bandwagon fan ever in that he does it in a way that it's not problematic. He actually genuinely develops a love for the teams that he's living in those cities.
All right, so obviously I'm from the Bay, so all of my favorite teams are Warriors, Niners, Giants, Sharks. But after that, I'm all right, I lived in Missouri when I went to school, so I kind of like the Royals. I like the Chiefs for a sec, just when I lived there. And then when I was in Chicago, I like the Bears, the Cubs. Now I'm here, so I kind of like the Yankees and the Rangers shit. It's more just
the Giants.
And the Giants.
Well, I think
love
the
those
podcast
Recording in
is
progress.
is a Giants fan. We all together are Giants fans. We're Daniel Jones fans. That's
Big DJ.
I don't know about all that.
yes,
bro.
we are. Yes, we are.
No, we're literally not.
No, we are.
Oh man,
Well,
It's gonna be good though. Appreciate you guys having us on.
Remind me your names, by the way.
I'm Alex, and that's Manny. Did everybody get that? Everybody got that? Yeah. No, seriously, we appreciate
Manny and Alex.
We appreciate your time today, guys. This means a lot to us. We look up to you guys for obviously what you guys have been doing in this space. We did some digging into, how all this started. So obviously this is a little bit different for us because it's 4 guys versus, one-on-one for us. So we're just going to kind of be throwing out some questions to you guys today. But first, we just kind of want to get from the beginning. Obviously, you guys all worked at Game Day and started at like different times. So when we think about the podcast, like how the hell did that even become a thing? You guys all went to different schools. It's different. Like Manny and I are childhood friends. So like, it was easy for us to just sit down, and the same conversations that we're having from the elementary school lunch table didn't change when we put microphones and cameras and lights in front of our faces. But for you guys, coming from different areas, different schools, coming together, like who sparked that first conversation? How the hell did this even start?
Was it Adam? Adam definitely brought it up.
I'm going to toot my own horn on this one.
I remember Nate came up to us one day.
And so the idea, look, we all started at this company. We were all doing various roles. We were on the social team. But we always found ourselves kind of getting into these arguments, specifically around the NFL season.
Literally every day when we walked in the office, the first thing, we have like a group chat of all of us too, and we'd be like starting the fight while we're on the subway on the way to the fucking office.
Monday morning,
as soon as we come
Sunday
in,
football.
Yeah, like it just went heated.
So it just kind of, in a way, it started to grow itself, and there was just this idea that had sparked of, if you look around sports media right now, everything is about analyzing on-field play. And if you looked at kind of what we were doing and what we were arguing, we realized that we weren't analysts, but we were more so analyzing what it means to be a fan of those teams and the players. So we were very biased, and we owned that bias.
Super biased.
And one of these days, our former head of content was just like, "You guys should try and record that." And obviously, as you guys know, when you do a podcast, it doesn't just come naturally. It's very unconventional to sit here, have a camera on, and then replicate those same conversations. So, we started thinking through this idea and what that could look like, and ended up pitching it to those higher up. And we started testing even back in June of last year. And, the chemistry was, I think, always there. It just had to be found on camera. One thing led to the next. Matan was actually previously behind the camera.
I was the producer at first, and we were like, all right, we're going to start with like 40-minute episodes. And these 3 guys just would rant forever and keep going, and I'd be behind the camera like, go, 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 go. So I'm a big NFL fan too, so I was like, let me get in there, I'll facilitate the conversation, we'll move the conversation along a little bit quicker, and they can still get their banter out. So it kind of all worked out.
Yeah, and just to kind of recap that, not to interject it, I feel like it began to take a life on its own, where we didn't necessarily know what we were doing. We were just talking, and then I think what ended up growing was just 4 really biased fans that love to just argue, like you're in a group chat, similar to what you guys were talking about in being in the cafeteria at the lunch tables, just going back and forth, where everyone always wants to argue, but no one actually has the answer to settle it. So we realized that we could spark conversations in dialogue, and it kind of just took on a life of its own.
So background, though, I don't think we mentioned this unless I'm really dumb and missed it, because I am dumb and I probably missed it.
I'm the dumbest, by the way.
But we all were working at the Game Day. We did start at different times, as you mentioned. I was the first one here. We're a startup, so I was the 8th employee. Everybody kind of came. Dude. Thanks, bro.
Everybody. You were like 14.
Yeah, I was employed.
I think I was like 16. Yeah.
A few months later, then Matan, and then Adam came in, and
Adam was already like a content creator overtime before this.
So we're all doing like social. We're all doing like social work, managing social channels for the Game Day NFL. MLB. Jack still does MLB. He's leading that account. And then we were just in the office coming in for that, obviously, and the arguments just happened, and we put it on camera.
Yeah. So basically, this is not actually the roles we were hired for.
Which is what we noticed. We were talking about it right before we got going, because we were like, how did you how do you balance now what you were hired for with doing this? Or is it more of this than the other?
It's a bitch.
So it definitely has evolved. Adam and I both moved away from the social team and are now like social video producers. So we do a lot of producing the content at the Game Day, like unrelated to Caps Off, including Caps Off. It's a big part of our time. Jack is still the MLB manager, but also does a lot more on-camera stuff.
So I I'm a huge baseball. I grew up playing it till I guess it was the Moneyball quote where he's like, everyone gets told at a certain time they got to stop playing. Yeah, I sucked. So I stopped at the end of high school. And but I still love baseball. So they're like, all right, I manage the page. I still love managing it, but it's more like half and half now. Like I'll come in the morning, we'll film Caps Off, or I'll film other videos for our action, like our gambling channel or other stuff like that. And then in the afternoon, I'll hop on and make like 4 or 5 graphics of just like MLB content. So it's kind of nice. Before I was full time, all MLB all day, and then this on top of it was kind of a bitch. But we're good now.
Felipe is he's the director of the social team. So any and all video content that's going up goes through Felipe, and he distributes it to the guys who are actually posting.
At a social at 25, Thrive by 29.
Yeah, I think we're playing a little ping pong, all of us going back and forth and kind of explaining it. But I think the reason Caps Off ends up working is just it's 4 different personalities across 4 different demographics and areas around the country doing different roles at this company, where we all do so many different things, but can all come together and create this one thing. So it's very much, a math problem that ends up being solved amongst the 4 of us, honestly.
Adam loves his phrases.
Yo, that was a big ass answer. I hope y'all don't hate us.
Yeah. It's dope. It all makes sense, but it's so cool because y'all all come from like different off camera, not really content backgrounds. So how long did it take you guys all to get natural in synergy on camera, recreating these really good conversations? Like, take us kind of through the ups and downs. Who caught it naturally? Who kind of struggled with it? Like, what was that like at first?
Like, since y'all edit every single video, I feel you guys.
Yeah, it took a while for all of us to kind of get in the groove of it and like to understand how to like we're obviously our videos that have popped off are our social videos, so we very much think in like a social first way of like what to say in the right spots. So you want to get that hook in. Felipe saying that Joe Burrow is underrated or Patrick Mahomes is the greatest talent we've ever seen on a football field is something that off the top of a video is going to catch our eye. So kind of getting into that flow of like recording a podcast, because ultimately that's what it is a podcast, but kind of incorporating that into natural conversation like took a little bit of time. I would say it took like 2-3 months before we really got into the flow of that.
Once you start because for us, the way that I think that we grew differently is the fact that we knew that social is the biggest way to grow. So we always had that in the back of our minds. Instead of saying, he's my best bet for MVP this year, you say Joe Burrow is my best, or Trevor Lawrence is, like stuff like that, which is just also that I sucked ass at that for like months, dude. Now I feel like it's
a disclaimer on our pod is like, I know it sounds like we're saying all these like bullshit things that we don't believe, but I don't think any of us ever say anything we don't believe that we can't back up. You know what I mean? So like,
I'll say some wild shit, but I'll say some wild shit at times, but
that's because
there's an argument for it. I would say.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever saying anything without a basis.
And I think like the thing with Felipe is like with the comments and shit, like you see all the time, like, everyone's like, yo, Felipe doesn't watch ball, bro. He doesn't know fucking shit.
He knows the most.
He's by far the smartest football mind that I know. Like, and that's why he can say that shit, because he can back it up. If I said some stupid shit, I would have no chance of even trying to back it up. Like,
yeah, but the comments are hurtful, bro. The comments are shady.
You don't give a shit. That's why you keep saying that shit.
I had some dude on Sunday night. I was getting ready to go to bed, and I get like 13 notifications from Instagram. And I go and I click on it. It's one guy that commented on all my pictures on Instagram, like personal pictures. I was like with family, and he was talking about like Joe Burrow. I swear to God, I had to block him and report him, so it was just like delete. So it was delete all the comments on my page. But bro, like some wild shit. I'm like, come on.
I've had a couple people in the DMs, like whenever I say some shit, like they'll DM me saying like, "You're such a fucking blah blah."
Death threats have come.
Yeah, and then I just be like, "Hey, bro, appreciate you listening." They're just like, "Oh, all good, man. I just kind of wanted to get your attention."
Well, I think once you answer, then I think you find out who's fake and who's not.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Touching on those social hooks, that was like, I think what also made us somewhat different behind the ideology of Caps Off was like very much thinking about it social first, like Matan touched on, which is like most podcasts, it's very conversational, but we were always thinking about what were people going to see if they only saw a minute 30 of it or 60 seconds of the clip. So every pronoun had to turn into the actual name. Every team couldn't just be the Chiefs. It had to be the Kansas City Chiefs. And what did you say?
It's a pronoun. Good word.
Pronoun, right?
It's proper. Yeah.
That does make
if I'm not looking at the Zoom,
so much sense though.
Yeah, it does.
But so it was very much like thinking through what a social first podcast could look like. And then just touching on what Matan said. Yeah, all these hot takes, like we just want to start those conversations, but we very much believe in what we said. So Joe Burrow, overrated or underrated, just got posted. Felipe and I very much feel strongly about this for various reasons. So a lot of people get triggered by it, but
it's all fun,
including Jack. But it's all fun.
Talent-wise, I would say though, some Adam was very natural. Adam had the history of like a past of just creating content, being on camera, and just being very. I mean, you see him; he's got all the energy in the world.
And he's so pretty. I mean, he's so pretty.
Yo, congrats on the Heat, by the way. I gotta give you that one. Congrats on the Heat, Adam. I'll give you that. I saw you wearing the Heat jersey. I'm a Knicks guy, so you know that takes a fucking lot out of me to give you that credit right there. Okay.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I mean, I'm feeling good. I'm Heat and 4, but we're feeling good right now.
Nuggets. Get the hell out of here. Band's about to get violated.
Hey, they said that about the Celtics. They said it about the Bucks. They said it about the Knicks.
No one said that about the Knicks.
Besides Knicks fans.
I said it about the Knicks.
That's my point.
But the Bucks and Celtics, they definitely did.
What were you gonna say?
But no, just finishing on that. So, Adam, very, very, a lot of experience, I'll say, on camera. Matan, a lot behind the camera and then on camera as well. Jack he's the voice behind a lot of our tour, like we do stadium tours and stuff like that, or whatever you would call it. What would you call them?
This like stadium reviews.
Stadium reviews.
Social. He's the voice behind a lot of social videos.
You see a lot of the what's that called? Like voice on B-roll and shit like that. Like voiceovers. Yeah, I'm lost, bro.
You do have a good voice.
I would say.
Thank you. You got a nice really voice.
It's really deep.
I'm not gonna lie, it definitely helps in a lot of aspects.
Like it sounds headphones. You're wearing headphones right now. It sounds good.
I know
like,
it's crispy. It's crispy. Not to gas you up.
So it makes
too
a lot
much.
of sense. Yeah, and then just wrapping up, it makes a lot of sense. And then for me, like I never really did anything like that. I definitely am the worst. But we figured it out though. Like
you're the one that gets us followed.
The conversation makes sense, and we're able to make it work.
It's funny. I remember at first though, like someone was saying, like I don't know if Felipe should be on camera, blah blah blah. He's not an on camera guy. We were like, no, fuck that. We need Felipe, bro, because that guy you can't do that.
I remember that. I can't believe they said that.
Yeah, well, so let's go to was there a moment in time from doing this that in these 100 episodes, like was there one specific moment that you thought, we could turn this into something and open up some other doors that create other roles and duties for us over at the Game Day? Or like, did it just happen naturally where it was kind of like, we got together, we started seeing some success and we're just going to keep going? But like, was there a moment where it was like, no, like we got something here?
So like, I speak it on from my perspective, like this it obviously took a lot of time to build up the rapport and what we were doing. But at the same time, it came before we even started it, which was an argument of like Cooper Kupp's a product of the system. And we just went 30 minutes nonstop arguing back and forth.
That shit.
And it was just strictly about that. It just went and it just worked. And it was like the first time we were arguing on a green screen. We posted it on like our Game Day HQ channel on TikTok. Got like 60K. And it was like the first time I was like, if we do this right, like we do this with actual production, this is going to work. So it's weird to say that, it came before we even started recording as the Caps Off podcast, but it very much did that. And then it was just about building it.
And also like part of the luxury of being a podcast that's at a company, right, is like we do have like certain infrastructure that helps us. So like we were able to build up like a brand deal for the Super Bowl and go to the Super Bowl with the Caesars like sports book, and like are able to like work with companies like Manscaped and things like that. So definitely like having kind of that infrastructure behind us has not only helped us elevate, but also like pushed us to be even better and like make even better content. So I think it's definitely been beneficial for us.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, that had to be like a bucket list, one of the coolest things. All the stuff
that
on Radio Row. Like,
bro,
talk about that. What was that like going through that for y'all?
We were just saying yesterday on the 100 episode, like that was one of our top favorite memories in the 100 episodes.
It was so, dude, just like walking around that, like obviously like having who is it that watched our
Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen was like just like watching our set like on the last show that we had, but like
it was crazy.
You're just watching around.
And we had like because we had like we had this stage there. Yeah, we had Trey Wingo on the pod, Kenny Mayne, your favorite. Like Michael Vick just like walked by. He didn't stop and listen, but he did walk by, and we were all starstruck.
He might have seen our faces.
He saw our faces.
We saw like Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence were there.
As a Giants fan, you'll like this. I got to hold David Tyree's Super Bowl ring. He was there at Radio Row.
That's so sick.
That was so nice. And I was too nervous to say anything. But Adam was like, I got a buddy over here. He's a huge Giants fan. Like, he wants to say hi. And I was like,
first thing everybody comes like, you want to hold my ring?
That was crazy. Super Bowl was just nuts for the sake of like, we didn't feel like we deserved to be there by any means. Like, we were on a stage at Caesars.
How did you get that
for some
space?
reason? We had So it's a great question. Honestly,
like I said, we had like a deal with Caesars where they like had a slot for us to like use their podcast studio.
Yeah.
And they were like, we'll let you have Trey Wingo, who's one of our associates, like one of our guys.
That goes back to like the advantage of like working for a company and doing this too. Is that like me and Matan, like I remember last summer we did a big Caesars deal with them to go to a Mets game and do like
that was before Caps Off.
That was totally before Caps Off was even an idea. And so like working with companies like that before, and then they kind of already see a bunch of your stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of works out in that.
So the Game Day is a sports betting company. So we have like affiliate partnership deals with sports books. So Caesars is one of those. And, the opportunity arose for us to like go and do our pod there. Only Jack got to actually go to the Super Bowl for a different show that we do. But we got to go to Radio Row, which was pretty sick. And cool. Media Day, obviously, we didn't even talk about the fact that we asked Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce questions.
Yeah, that was
and Jalen Hurts. That was pretty sick.
Like, just how cool was that? Just interviewing those players and stuff. Like, what does that feel like? Matan, like you're our age. Like, I was 2021 graduate too. Like, we're the same age. So like, I'm only thinking like, how the fuck would I feel if I'm like in their shoes, going to Radio Row and talking to these players? Like, I'd just be starstruck.
Starstruck, yeah. But like, I think at the end,
you also just don't really like feel anything. I think you're just going.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say
adrenaline kicked in.
Adrenaline kicks in. You're not even thinking about who's in front of you because you just know what the content can turn out to be if you just kind of put your pride aside. And then we just end up having fun with it. It's like at the end of the day, most of these people are asking questions like, why are you guys going to win? Or like, why should you pass it to Travis Kelce on 3rd and 8? Like some dumb shit that they've like regurgitated so many different times. And then you finally get there and you get to ask like Travis Kelce, like, why was Jason Kelce a better brother than you growing up? And like, for some reason they feel humanized by it. So then it kind of gives us more energy to be like, let's keep asking them. And then somehow it turns into, us telling Jalen Hurts he's hot on live television. But other than that,
not us, you.
No, that was me. But that was where the Caps off. That was me doing that. But it kind of takes on a life of its own of just like having
the funniest thing with that, the fact that you and I unknowingly asked Andy Reid the same exact fucking question.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like 5 minutes apart. Yeah,
we split up because there were so many players. So like Adam and I went together and Felipe and Jack went together and we just kind of picked a bunch of questions and then off the cuff, what was the question you
it was separated? So we both asked Andy Reid. Adam got to him 2 minutes before me, that motherfucker. But we both asked Andy Reid. We're like, all right, start, bench, cut, In-N-Out, Shake Shack, Whataburger. Or is it Five Guys?
Five Guys.
That's a solid question for Andy Reid.
It was great. Yeah. It was great.
And he was
and
like,
humbly, he was like all of them.
Yeah. And then
to me, he was like, it's like, oh, someone just asked me that question, but I like all of them. I was like, all right, Andy.
Thanks for the answer, Andy.
So it was so good.
It was crazy. That was they aired that on NFL Network. And I just remember my dad had texted me. He was like, I saw that. Yeah. I was like,
the In-N-Out one?
Yeah, the In-N-Out.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
So how are you guys doing that in terms of like recording that type of content? Like if you guys are splitting up, would it be like, do you guys have somebody that was recording it for you? Or would you just do like, one person holds like the phone for the TikTok clip and then back and forth and so on?
Yep. Bingo.
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. So we do a lot of fan on the street interview stuff with the Game Day. Been our kind of bread and butter for a couple of years now. Adam and Jack are pros at going out on the street at like sporting events, tailgates, talking to fans, asking them ridiculous questions, getting them to answer. So we have, like you said, we have a little mic that plugs into an iPhone and we can just walk around and film. So we kind of just took turns switching off camera and mic, asking the players questions. We did have one of our producers, Ben, with us who did have a camera and was kind of like vlogging. And we got some like higher quality footage like that. But yeah, we kind of just rinse and repeat this kind of fan on the street format with the iPhone camera, which is arguably better than these $4,000 cameras now, So that's kind of the process.
Something that I'm interested in when like you guys have like how you guys have like a big team of 4 like that. Like we all see the roles on camera, but like what are the kind of the roles off camera? Like who's kind of the mediator? Who's kind of the motivator? Like what are those roles like that we don't see on the camera necessarily?
Great question.
I mean, on camera, I'm the mediator because I know the least about football. Like I'm a big football fan and a big Giants fan, and definitely this podcast has elevated my knowledge.
But you also know that we won't shut the fuck up if you.
Yeah, but I don't have the strong takes, but I can facilitate the conversation and kind of move it along.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, Adam and I edit all the social clips pretty much.
I'll upload audio and like YouTube shorts and whatnot.
Yeah, we definitely split up like where we upload things. So I take
you
care.
haven't said a word in like 5 minutes, bro.
Hey, I'm saying some great shit, man. I'm taking it in now. So we definitely split up where we upload as far as that stuff goes. I handle a lot of like the inquiries, as you know, because we've been in conversation.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of like the partnerships and stuff like that, things that we do there. Any type of talks with any potential sponsors and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. You guys want to?
I think just even on camera, like the role is be a fan first, and like sure, Matan mediates and interjects and facilitates conversation, but it's all very much throwing out a bunch of things. I feel like it's like a doubles match sometimes.
Who's coming up with these crazy ideas though? Like the greatest player.
I was about to say the ideas is like
stuff.
The ideas is all of us. We have a text group where we're kind of texting each other ideas all the time. We'll meet, before we record every time to like just nail in the topics. Right. And sometimes we'll talk through it, like make sure you get this line in there, or like make sure you say this, but most of the time, more often than not, it just kind of is off the cuff. It's like, here's the topic. We'll do like a factor cap segment. And like we just riff, we just go and see what, or sometimes I'll adjust the topics knowing that like, oh, Felipe is going to have a lot to say about that, or Jack's going to have a lot to say about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we definitely know where our bias lies in each and every one of us. And we definitely try to like the talking points. We know what's going to get engagement at this point. Like we knew Joe Burrow this week was going to be hot because it was hot last week and it was hot the time before that. And so we know kind of the talking points. And then the challenge, I think, always is how can we introduce new ones and try different areas and spin it in a way that's going to be engagement worthy. And, because at that point, then that's when we're in our bag.
I feel like also a part of it that's not getting mentioned is like, we touched on it earlier, but it's like, these are the same types of arguments and things that are thrown out in your group chat of some variety. So like all of us, including yourself, like you guys have boys that you guys grew up with, someo's throwing out some nonsense. Whether it be about salary cap, whether it be about some player getting signed. That's my group chat. But I'm saying like whether something.
That's the first thing you come up with.
Power rankings, bro. Power
rankings, factor, some dumb shit. My point is something stupid gets thrown out, and like we see it in our group chat, and we'll bring it up and just say like, yeah, someone brought this up. Let's talk about this and throw it out. So it's supposed to feel like it's not these crazy ideas, but just things that everyone would talk about.
I feel like with our dynamic too, like everyone has like sort of a different thing they bring to the table. Like you're very stats driven, right? You have a bunch of stuff like that. Felipe just hot take after fucking hot take
with basis.
With basis.
Always there. Felipe, I gotta give him credit.
I know that's what I said. Like people think he's like dumb because he always takes. Well, he's the smartest fucking football mind I know.
I still haven't gotten the proper credit for like it was like week 3. I was like, the Jags are the best team in Florida.
I remember that.
And,
that was big,
bro. I got clowned so hard for that, and I know what you're thinking. The Dolphins, sure, but at the time that after the season ended, the Jags made it further than the Dolphins because of quarterback. But hey, I need my credit for that. I need my credit.
Good
for
shit,
that.
bro.
Thanks, bro.
Have you ever gotten gun shy?
And then like,
what was that?
Have you ever gotten kind of gun shy with the takes ever? Like after like some hates come through crazy every weekend, like you ever came to the next show and like been like kind of stutter stepping or never?
Nah, dude, I think it's because of what Adam and Matan have kind of mentioned is that there's a basis kind of for everything I say. Now, I will sometimes go out of my way to make a hotter take and kind of in retrospect find ways to defend it. Like, so rather than doing something I'm like comfortable with and definitely comfortable defending, I'll find a hot take and then find ways that I can defend it and then go that route.
Yeah.
But nah, I feel comfortable always because I feel like I can back it up.
He's never pulling punches. No.
Yeah, I never feel bad about it. Like the Joe Burrow thing, I brought up Dak Prescott stats, and like that's enough. Like, you know what I mean?
That's enough. That's all you need.
And now the take is valid.
The stats were the same, and I'm like, all right, now any Bengals fans that try to come for my head, like all I gotta say is Dak Prescott. Now the tide has changed. You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't got that shit. So if I have a take, I'm like, fuck.
I want to take a step back. Talk to us a little bit about like how you guys got your positions in, a media industry, especially it being sports. You guys obviously know firsthand from working in this industry that There's not really a lot of opportunities, like right out of school. There's not a lot of money involved. So like talk about what those experiences were for you guys, and more importantly, you know, tips for other guys and girls coming out of school trying to get a job in sports.
It's a phenomenal question.
You're the first one to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say Felipe, right? That's
I know that's
man. I mean,
I saw your TikTok. It's what was it? God damn it! Why am I blanking on it now? What was it like? Sports for something for success?
I started an account lately called Sports Media Success. Actually rebranded to Sports Media Universe. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, real quick. Felipe was starting to. He said earlier that like some of us had some on-camera experience. Felipe had no on-camera experience for this podcast, and that has sparked him to make his own content. And he is just grown as an on-camera talent, so we're very proud of him. So the fact that he's building his own brand,
Team Felipe. We're gonna
clap it up.
Yeah, Team Felipe. Yeah,
appreciate that. To answer your question though, it is a tough industry. Obviously, a lot of kids are graduating college, and for one, it's tough to get in. And another thing is, a lot of people I feel like most people get in the industry and they're in a position they don't want to be in, because you're stuck doing a bunch of dumb shit for these companies. Everybody thinks like, oh, it's the dream. I'm going to work in sports and have fun. The reality is it's $1 billion industry for a reason. Like, people have to do shit that isn't fun and they don't want to do. And you're not going to be Stephen A. Smith day one after college. Like, that's just not what's going to happen. But people expect that. So, except Adam is Steve Smith. But it's a tough industry. So I think for me, I got very lucky because I got this opportunity. This was my first opportunity after college, but it was right when COVID was kind of like taking over the world. It was October, so it was like maybe a few months after that, but I didn't have any pressure of any other jobs because of COVID. So when I got this opportunity, it was the very start, and there was only room to grow. Like, either the game day could fucking bomb and be ass or grow, and it grew, and these guys came on, but I was able to grow in my trajectory that way. And I think my advice to anybody right now, and it might be controversial to some people, but I just think you stay away from big companies. I've always said this, but whenever you go to a big company, you get pigeonholed into a little role and you do all this little shit and I had internship experience at NBC and Sirius XM and CBS. I had all the big company internship experience and they all blew. And the excuse of like, oh, that's just an internship, it was a bad one, because the people who are 25 and 26 was doing the same thing I was doing. So I knew I didn't want to go that route. And the fact that, you know, I was able to go to a startup and grow that way, grow with the company and get my hands dirty and actually improve my skills, which isn't something you do at a big opportunity or a big company, then I think that was really what like jolted my career. And I think these guys will speak too, but it's definitely helped them advance a lot quicker in their career than they would have otherwise.
By a fucking mile.
Go for it. How'd you get into this, Jack?
How did I get into sports media? So I always honestly, like y'all said, like my voice, like everyone always growing up, like as soon as my balls drop, they're like, oh my God, your voice is awesome, dude. Like, you got to go on TV or radio, probably more radio because, you know, my face isn't that great. But like, you got to do something with that. I'm like, all right, bet. And so I always wanted to like be a play-by-play guy. So I went to University of Missouri, they have a great journalism school. I want to do that. But then I figured, I was like, you know what? I don't like this on camera shit. I like writing a little more. And so I started off basically after college as a high school sports writer in the Chicagoland area and got laid off from that due to COVID. Started working at a staffing firm out there, just doing social media and marketing. And then one of my boys from college that I know who worked for the Game Day. You remember Jake Meister?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he hit me up. He's like, yo, we have this opening at Game Day. If you want to do it, you got to move to New York for it later. But, you know, if you want to do it, it's a small company, a lot of room to grow, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I came here and I guess the rest is history. Just as soon as I moved to New York, everyone started meeting me and they kind of realized that like my personality was good to do on camera shit, I guess. I don't know. Like they realized I'm not
He's awesome.
Chicago.
Side note, the guy that kind of, I guess, recruited, that brought Jack on, quit before you even came on.
Bro,
right?
he quit a fucking week later. It's ridiculous. I was like, oh, okay, bet. Like, that's a great sign. No, but like you said, like, advice to people that want to get in, like, every job I've ever gotten is all through networking.
It's huge.
I did as much as I could, you know, to have a good resume and good samples and whatnot with my writing and on camera stuff. But it's really all just who you know, just network like a motherfucker. Try to get to know everyone in the sports media community. If there's a company you want to work for one day, look for someone that has a connection, either like your town or your college. Reach on LinkedIn and just ask for advice from them. Don't ask them to work for their company. And that's how I've gotten every single job internship that I've ever gotten, is just through networking. Because that's huge.
Dude.
Yeah, bro.
So beautiful. Yeah. I I mean, I had no idea I was going to go into sports media stuff in college. I studied music in school, so I really had no idea. But that kind of put me on the creative route. I definitely was like, I can produce, know the technical end of things, how to use all the tech stuff and Photoshop, Premiere. So I got an internship in college with Whistle Sports, which is another sports media company. They don't do as much pro sports stuff. They do a lot of like trick shot videos, compilation stuff like that. And so I was just a social media manager there. That was like during college. And that was like an alternative to going abroad. So I like took the semester, I had enough credit. I took a semester off and was like working. And that was during the semester that COVID hit. So I ended up being there for like 8 months remote as well, which ended up helping me a ton because I got a ton more experience. I was basically doing a job for a full-time position as an intern. And then once I graduated, I like saw someone on LinkedIn who used to work at Whistle was posting about the game day as like social media manager. I met with Felipe. Vicky, who's one of the HR people. And I met with Felipe for a second. He was like, "Oh, you can do TikTok?" He was like, "Bet, yeah, all right, you're in." Like,
bro, it was a lot.
Like Felipe was one
TikTok, bro.
Felipe was like one of 4 people on the social team at the time. So he was like, I need someone to do video. So I came on and like immediately, literally the next day, I was like, can I just take the TikTok? And he was like, yeah, fucking run. And so then we like, it took a while for us to develop the voice there, but we got it. And I mean, like I said, didn't study this stuff in college. I have learned a fuck ton on the job. Just doing it is the best experience you can have. So my advice would be like for people trying to both break into the industry and who are just starting off in the industry is like, be really eager to learn. And also like people love quick learners. If you can learn quick and then perfect that thing and you just prove that you are going to get better and better, like you're going to be more successful. It's like helped me a ton. Obviously being at a small company, like Felipe said, is very beneficial. It's like, I'm only, I'm 25 and we're already making our way up. So it's like really, really like important to just like be eager to learn, willing to put yourself out there, and also the eagerness to do more. Like if people come and go at companies, you know what I mean? So if people go take on their role. If people come, take an initiative is key. Thank you. That's the word. Dude, I was Team Felipe, man. So that's my advice is just kind of be eager to learn and willing to learn and willing to change your ways. If someone's saying like, hey, I think this, like someone higher up than you's like, hey, let's do it this way. Like try to adapt to that. Try to make it the best you can. So that's my advice. Thanks, dog. What you got?
I'll try and be quick. I always, growing up, did film. Loved being in front of the camera. Always did that. And always knew I would want it. What?
So, I mean, look at the face.
Well, I just enjoyed being a fucking asshole on camera.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I feel like, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But whatever. So, I did film and I always knew I wanted to be in sports. Growing up in South Florida, I was friendly with a lot of, my school had a lot of athletes. So my route was always like, I'm going to be a sports agent. Like I think majority of sports, fans that want to get into sports in general, always is like, I want to be an agent because that's all they see. They see the entourages of the world. They see the wires. And then I interned at WME IMG. I was just like, similar to Felipe, I was like, I fucking hate this. Like I'm doing spreadsheets and assistant for X amount of years. And there was just a part of me that didn't enjoy that. But at the time I was always doing content creation on a very small scale. Ended up getting a job with Overtime right before COVID to work on their app, and ended up, overseeing their NFL content, did a lot of their stuff for their app, and did a lot of content creation for fantasy football and NFL content in general. And was looking for a different opportunity to switch it up, and found the game day. Ended up, like I said, and like everyone said, kind of you grow into your own role. And I had done on-camera work. I had done, the social media management. And then one thing led to the next, and you just learn a lot more in various roles. And here we are now where, I do a lot more content development. He does a lot more of the post-production stuff, director of social, senior social media manager. So all of us started on a very small scale and just grew, from there. And I guess my advice is like, it's cliche, but don't be afraid to take risks and try and learn new things, ways that make you super uncomfortable. I don't think any one of us would have been in these positions had it not been doing something in some sorts that made us uncomfortable, whether it was a new role, whether it was a new opportunity, whether it was a smaller company. And obviously, I think a lot of people in sports and just our families are like, go to these big companies, go get an internship. Everyone tells you to do that, right? The stereotypical route
parents were nervous
is very much
I think
counterintuitive to, I think, the route that we've gone.
Right.
So my advice is just don't be afraid to take those risks, and things do work out. Things, will come. The sun rises tomorrow, whether you like it or not. So
Damn, Adam,
I'm just saying, just take risks. Like, shit's gonna fail, shit's gonna have success, and you learn from your failures and you learn from your success. And like, I don't think any one of us has had any sort of success by any means at all right now. And I think we're just being able to learn what it means.
I feel
that's a little rude.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we've had. I don't know if we've done shit.
Yeah,
We haven't done anything. We're just
our content shit.
Our content is shit. But yeah, so that's just a little bit.
I would think environment matters a lot to wrap everything up. But I think regardless of where you actually end up going, whether it's a big company or whatever, it's all actually up to you. Like, the one thing that all these guys have in common is that they go and they act, and they're not scared to fail or get embarrassed by fucking up, because at the end of the day, you're only going to go that way. So it really comes down to initiative wherever you're at, because you're going to stick out. If you do your thing, you're going to stick out wherever you're at. So that's really what it comes down to.
I heard a couple of you start mentioning parents. Was there anything like any of you guys have good stories about that when the pressure really started cooking from your parents, or was there a ton of support? Like, what was that like for some of you guys?
When
we started here,
or kind of, or taking the job at a small company, or maybe taking the sports media route. Was there always full support? Was there pressure? How
my parents didn't know what.
Not wanting to take the big company route.
My parents didn't know what the fuck I was doing. They were like, you find stupid videos and you post them on Facebook?
Well, I don't think any parents really understood like TikTok at the time.
Yeah, they definitely didn't understand TikTok. And then my dad is my dad, and he did his whole reading. He did his New York Times research about the boom of social media, and he was like, okay, this is actually a huge $billion industry. Like, so it kind of started to make sense to them later on. And also, I was getting paid, so they were happy about that. So as long as there was an income, they were okay with it. But it took them a minute to fully understand what I was doing, because it's obviously such a new industry. This industry didn't exist when our parents were our age. You know what I mean? So they had no idea what I was getting into. Ultimately, I just explained it to them as I'm a video producer, which they do understand. I think people pretty much get that. But yeah.
I feel like with mine, they were totally supportive of the job, because they always knew that I wanted to do sports. And this is a way for me to get back from the staffing firm job back into sports. But the thing that they were concerned with was I was moving to New York, a whole new city where I know nobody, for a job at a startup where this shit could fail in a couple months, right? And then I'm fucked. So that was more their concern, but worked out, I guess, reasonably well. So, not too bad.
Yeah. My parents are drastically different. So my dad is very conservative and boring as fuck. But he has reason to be that.
Shout out to Pops though.
He has reason to be that. He got
boring as fuck.
He got opportunity to move to the US. I grew up in Dallas, but because I'm Brazilian. My dad went to University of Dallas to do his MBA, and they ended up staying there. Got a job at Microsoft, and that provided his income and my family means of just living forever. So for him, it's all about going to that big company and having that security. My mom, on the other hand, is just a straight up entrepreneur, and she has that go get it mentality. So when I got this offer, I actually had another offer on the table with Vox for SB Nation to be a staff writer, and my dad was leaning heavily towards that. I told him I had both. And then me and my mom were kind of leaning towards the game day. All we had to do was kind of match the salaries. We were able to do that. But then when it came down to it, I chose obviously the game day. And my dad was hesitant towards it for a couple months. And then he just saw how much I was doing and how much I was actually growing and actually enjoying it. So then, once I got past that and then the game day actually started experiencing real growth. I think once we started actually hiring other people, then my dad was like, all right, they're in fine shape. And my parents were okay. Yeah, we got an office. Before we didn't have an office. Bro, I'll tell you, I was working because I started during NFL season in 2020. It was that season when fans weren't even in the stadium and shit.
Yeah.
I was working. I would get up at 6:37 and work till 11:30.
Damn. Bro, for my first couple of weeks of the MLB season when I started, it was 8 a.m. till fucking 2 a.m.
Yeah, you go late because there was only us. There was only a few of us. Yeah. So
I did that at overtime. That was
it's tough, but it's worth it. That's the point. Like you got to put in the work. Because like if I hadn't done that, then I wouldn't have grown just from like actually doing shit. Like I actually got better from doing shit. So, Adam, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. We all gotta bring up our. I mean, look, my parents is same route. You know, like they want to go to some big company to go a place that's not gonna fail, and like Matan said, it's a new industry. So I think my parents were always supportive of like what I want to do. It's just there's natural concern of like the stability of a company. So. I think that narrative's definitely changed. Mm-hmm. But I think, I don't look back and be like, fuck my parents or say they're losers like Felipe pretty much for like their attitude.
Damn. I didn't say he was
just said he's boring.
He said boring.
I thought it was boring.
That's what the commenters say on Instagram. So they take words out of my mouth.
I thought you said loser. I thought you said loser.
Adam's an incel, bro.
But yeah, no, I mean, my parents were supportive. But that was about it.
Well, last one for you guys real quick. Again, we really, really appreciate the time. Talk to us about Kansas City, the draft, seeing all those players and being able to ask those questions up close. I actually watched the vlog on TikTok, so that was cool that you got to, showcase everything inside.
Adam,
So on top of like, your experiences with it, talk about the planning, because when you see like that vlog, you see everything that goes into it, and you're showing like the beginning of one of the days when you guys are all sitting at the table editing and showing the end. Like I think it was the end of day one. You guys got back, it's 11:55 and you guys are doing a podcast. So just talk about the planning, more importantly, that goes into all that crazy stuff.
Bro, fuck the vlog. I'm gonna call it what it is. Shit was the death of me.
Adam did like, I don't know, it took him a week and a half to like fucking go through all the string out of footage. We took so much footage, man. There was a lot on the chopping block.
Fuck it.
But I mean, that whole trip obviously was like, it was more centered around let's get to the players and get content with the players. So we obviously had some media credentials, which was really, really helpful. We got to talk to players, but the day before the draft and then during the draft, like right after players got drafted, like we went inside and got to talk to a couple guys. Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, like Bijan Robinson, guys who had just been drafted. So that was pretty cool. The vlog, though, we kind of were just like, let's film everything. And then Adam was kind of the point person on it. So he was just like, let's do a pickup here. We'll swipe here, like we'll just kind of, he just kind of did a good job of keeping us on, like doing check-ins every now and then. Doing the 12 a.m. middle of the night pod.
That was kind of ass.
That was planned. That was ass, but that was definitely part of the plan. We were like, we need to get a recap of the first night of the draft out as soon as we can. We were staying.
I know you had the Modelo's cooking, Jack. I saw that.
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
Oh yeah. If you watch, Jack got through a whole 12 pack in that video.
I'm 5.
Hey, that was our I don't know if y'all know this, but I was looking through our analytics. That was our most listened to episode ever, though.
Oh, really?
So it works out.
You're welcome.
So we should record.
It was worth it.
We've always said we should do a drunk episode.
That's true.
We need to do something. What do you guys think about Wine Wednesdays, where we just drink wine on Wednesday? That's an Adam idea.
I think then Felipe, your takes might go even crazier.
Yeah,
Wine Wednesday.
Yeah, but now I have an excuse, right? So at least it
might go off the walls.
We'll have to do that one day.
I was just saying though, the middle of the night pod was totally worth it. We were exhausted after that first night of the draft. The draft, man, that was exhausting. Super fun, but like those long days out in the field, like shooting stuff, talking to fans, like is really tiring.
Because you're on your feet walking around the whole time.
Yeah,
and you're not stopping.
We were beat, but we got it done, and obviously clearly it did well. So it was worth it.
Kansas City was cool.
Kansas City was sick.
Kansas City was the first time, and I know it was all of our first times. Jack and Felipe got noticed. I think it was twice, or 3 times. Yeah. But I think it was like the first time that it probably was actually validated that people can recognize us in the field, and they got recognized twice. But it was just kind of one of those moments where someone was like, "Dude, I watch your draft day videos," right? And it was like a really fulfilling moment, I think, where it began to feel real. I don't know if anyone else want to.
Oh, that's like when we were talking about the 100th episode, like, what is your favorite memory from all this? By far, my favorite was it sucked that you two guys weren't there because you guys were inside the draft editing, but it was like mid first round draft, something like that. Me and Leap are just hanging out, watching the draft, like not really filming much content at the time, so we're just kind of chilling. And this one kid comes up to us, it's like, "Holy shit, like you guys are Caps Off, right? We watch you all the time, like blah blah." and he asked for a picture with us, and I was like, damn, I didn't know we were like photographable. Just like that was, I don't know, dude. I've been thinking of whatever the fuck that word should be, and I don't know what it is.
Photogenic?
Photogenic? No, that's whatever it is. I'm like, I didn't know we were
photographable. We're not.
Yeah. Sure.
Photographable.
We're not.
But I was like, damn, like people asked to take pictures with us. Like, what the fuck? And that was like a cool ass moment. Yeah. And the first guy that came up to Lipe, he's like, yo, I watch shit all the time. Like, he's wearing all Giants shit. He goes, fuck the Cowboys, bro. And then he's like, he was like, yo, you want to interview real quick? He's like, yeah. And it was like hella funny.
The draft was cool. The draft was really cool, and hopefully we get to do a lot more of these events and go places. And yeah, it's been a really, really fun 8 months. Let's call it like what it is.
Only 8 months.
It's been 10 months.
That's close to it.
It's been about 8 months because it started right the start of the NFL season. So it's been really, really cool. It's been obviously a lot of work. You know, I feel like people see the X amount of followers and see the views, but it took a lot, not only from us, but the company and the backing and the infrastructure. And I think we're all super grateful for it and excited for what's to come. And yeah, man. I mean, it's
been, cry now or what?
I could cry. I could cry on the spot.
Well, hey guys.
Yeah, it's been cool.
Go ahead. Who was that? Sorry, did I cut anybody off? The fuck?
No, not at all.
Adam was just wrapping up. He loves to talk, so
he's very sentimental.
No, I just wanted to. That's all we have for you guys. Again, seriously, this means so much to us. Like I said at the beginning, look up to you guys and what you guys do. You guys are killing it. So obviously, we're gonna be here on the sidelines rooting for you guys, and we appreciate the time. And hopefully, we'll talk to you guys super soon.
Where are you guys based out of?
We're in Philly.
Right outside of Philly, baby.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, if you guys are ever in New York, we'd love to have you guys on.
Hey, Manny, I'm gonna come over, but you gotta protect me, bro.
I got you, but I can't tell about what you be saying about how Dak and owns us. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work over here.
I'll ease up a bit, like the few weeks before.
You might not want to have him after you see the shit that's coming out this week.
Nah. Listen, we understand. We understand.
He told me to be bold, bro.
I understand.
We gotta come back on though and do an actual like football episode and not necessarily
100%.
like this. We gotta shoot the shit.
I'm down to get greedy.
Don't tell us that because that's just putting fuel in our gas tanks over here.
Come through the office sometime. We'll do a legit episode and shit.
Yeah, word up. Yeah. We'll hit you up. We'll be in the DMs.
Also, keep it up. Yeah, hey, keep it up. We've seen what y'all done too. I mean, Adam, when you first reached out, Adam was the first one I saw the DM and we all took a look and we love what you guys are doing. So like we said, bro, keep going after it because that's obviously what you guys 98, you said 99.
This is 98. Yeah, this will be 98. Yeah. So it's just tough. We're like
that's dope.
We're just struggling a little bit for like the follower, like actually not retaining, but getting people to hit that fucking plus button on TikTok. Like if you scroll through, the difference with us from you guys is in the comparison is like if you scroll through your TikTok page, every one of your videos is like 30,000, 60,000 in that range or higher. All of ours, you'll get one that goes for like 10 to 12K, and then everyone's like 300. And it's like, it's good fucking content. But that's just not going.
That's the nature of the
video. But that's how it was for like that. That's really how it was for
bro,
2 months.
And also, if you ever want pointers, like hit us up on the side for sure. We'll be happy to help. Like I'm more than happy to do
I think the pronouns thing was a big one.
These two are fucking.
It's a lot of testing and iterating, trying different things.
Bro, we had. Yeah, our account was so bad at first. Like we had to restart it. We had to restart our account because we were getting like fucking 7 views.
Yeah, that was terrible.
So we started a new account like 2 weeks in, maybe a week and a half in. So
it was weird.
You just gotta keep on going. Like I know it sounds super cliche, but it's like you're gonna have videos that pop off. You're gonna have videos that do absolutely nothing, and it's like you're gonna be defeated because those that do nothing feel a lot heavier than those that pop off.
Facts.
But in that
you get fucking defeated as hell.
Bro, we had a video at the draft that was like it wasn't cracking 1,000. We were at like 800, 700. It was climbing so damn slow. Adam got so excited he deleted the video.
Yeah, he was so fucking mad.
So
this was within like maybe like a couple hours too. I'm like, bro, just give it time.
So there's definitely ebbs and flows, but I think consistency is definitely it, bro. Just keep doing your thing because obviously it rains when it rains, of course.
Adam posted right before this episode, and it has 0 views right now, so something's clearly wrong with it.
Take it down. Take it down. Hey, you guys are the best. We'll be in touch.
Guys.
Maybe we can we'll get a video at some point. Maybe we'll meet at Yankee Stadium or something. I don't know. You guys are the best. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Yankee Stadium would be sick. Let's do it.
Thanks for having us, boys.
Take care, guys. Talk to you soon. Be well.
Appreciate you, boys.
All right,
see ya.
Oh, the fucking boys. Sorry. So that was that, guys. Wow, caps off. Great guys. I know we ran a little bit long. Those guys are the best, man. And I guess that means we got to get up to the office. We got to go link with them. So just meet connections. Weekly on this podcast. So if you
are we gonna be fucked on that first part or no?
What's that?
The first part.
For the first 3 minutes, I didn't hit record on their video, but it's all right. We'll be good. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, comment, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button. We have some new tea parties, so if you're new, that's our golf series coming out very, very soon. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, you know what to do. Ratings go a long, long way. Social media platforms: Twitter @ADED Podcast, Instagram @ADED Pod, and our TikTok.
And if you ain't watched the vlog, watch the fucking vlog because it's gonna be out after the vlog.
Yeah, we're going to the Union game tonight for a vlog.
Whoever's posted first. If this posted first, watch the fucking vlog. If the vlog already got posted, we'll go back and watch the fucking vlog.
It's the All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ and Manny Ruffin. We will see you when we see you. Vlogs, videos, and goddamn it, caps off. You guys are the boys. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out, baby.